In this final part of the demo, we're going to add in a new rule to show how we would monitor a particular situation where there is a risk due to a cut-off time for processing transactions. Remember that if orders made by traders are not processed by the cut-off time, let's say 1600, 4 o'clock, then it might not be possible to process them on the same day, and the agreed quotation price may not be honoured. In this case, our bank may be penalised by the customer. So we will use the ClearPriority development console to create a new rule that we can add to the current monitoring smart pack to extend its monitoring to alert us to this new risk situation. We will use an external event, in this case the cut-off time, which is correlated with the internal processing of the orders, to check for problems. So here we have seen previously that we have 4 applications. What I will do is create a new application which will take a copy of the existing rules and add in the new risk monitoring scenario. Let's call it Cut-off Monitoring App. I will start at version 1.0. Versioning means that if the application is running against a live event stream and some problem occurs, it would be easy to downgrade to an earlier version of the monitoring smart pack and carry on. So now the system is duplicating the configuration. Takes a little time. Here is my main modelling environment, where we monitor risk or opportunity scenarios that the system has to detect and create an action consequent to that event. So let's start by creating a rule. By clicking this button and giving it a name, like Cut-off Rule, and here I will have my main modelling area, where we have to express the pattern that has to be detected, showing how the situation has to be evaluated, as well as what the action is that the system has to take when it finds that scenario. So let's start by detecting a situation. So what I'd like to detect is the occurrence of an order, which is an order ready to be sent to the broker made by the trader. I can reuse the existing order type, so here I already have an order status type, so I will detect that I have an event called order status with the state of ready to send. So we have a ready to send order. I would also like to detect that I haven't received any order acknowledgement by the third party to say that this has been processed. This also has an order status type, and here I have all my attributes that we saw previously, like the operation code and so on. I would also like to ensure that I don't create any false positives in case I get an acknowledgement a bit later on, and so I will wait a maximum of 5 minutes before raising an alert. This means that if an order is placed by a broker and the order isn't acknowledged within 5 minutes, then the pattern, the event, is detected. And I can also verify that the operation codes of the two events match each other. Otherwise, we would capture the wrong event. Okay, this is now my detection pattern. Now I would like to evaluate the situation, and I can do that quite easily by simply looking at the time left to react before the cut-off time. The time left to react is actually the difference in minutes between the time of the cut-off for that bank, say every day at 4 o'clock, and the time of issue of that order. I would like to know if, when the order is issued by the trader, the difference is within my limit. So we use here one of the functions on the left. Functions are small snippets of logic that you can use in your rules to determine situations that you can act on. So here I would like to detect that at a minimum we have 15 minutes left. Now let's make that 30 minutes. So when a trader creates an order in the order processing system and the order hasn't been acknowledged within 5 minutes, and we are at a minimum of 30 minutes before our cut-off time, then we need to raise an alert to this risk scenario. As an action, what I would like to do is to make sure that I'm informed of this risk situation. So I create an alert, which we'll call Risk Cutoff Alert. The alert will be typed as well, so its type, we type in its type here. And of course we could add some more attributes, but we won't bother to do that as this is just a demonstration. As an origin value, I would like to retrieve the operation order code so that the person doing the monitoring will be able to react. They'll know which order to go and look at. I will also select a high level. It's important that I get this alert, and also make it totally active. So I think we are now all set, and we save the monitoring application inside our repository. The repository that is stored on the ClearPriority system so that we can work with multiple users on your applications. I am also able in the more detailed editing to describe what is the problem we have just created a rule for. So here we could say that this includes the detection of cutoff. And what would be the expected reaction of the team if they find this alert, they're given this alert, would be to verify by phone with the broker that the order was properly received and will be duly processed that day. Okay, we are done. So let's validate the whole thing first so that the system verifies there are no inconsistencies in the rules, and then we build the application when it's verified. So what it's doing now is building the app and creating the executable file that will enable me to implement it on the runtime platform. So it is being generated, and the speed of this generation depends somewhat on what system, what program, or computer you're running on. Here we are. I can do this on my own computer so that I can transfer the executable using any media, file transfer, email, or even a USB stick, and store it on the required segregated area. It could be useful for testing or production environments, etc. And that's the end of our demonstration.